Nice. Ugh. So we are going to start with a clean face. It's pretty clean. And we are going to begin with some primer. Now, you don't have to use this primer. I like this one. It's e.l.f. and it's very cheap because I'm cheap and used to be a dancer. So, you know, save money wherever you can. Now, you don't have to use an actual eyelid primer. Another good alternative is if you have a concealer that maybe doesn't really fit your season anymore, or, you know, one that's almost done or something like that, or it's whatever, you don't need it anymore. This works just as well too. So this is a little bit dark from my skin tone. Maybe not for the summer, but like we're in winter right now. So, but again, you can just use a little bit of the primer or a little bit of a concealer or even a foundation. It really doesn't matter. All you're trying to do right now is create a base so that the eyeshadow has something to adhere to, right? So it doesn't just put it on your eyes and then it just kind of falls down. So you don't need a ton, you just need a little bit. And then I'm gonna go in with a very light color right here. And that again is just creating this base. So I'm gonna go in with this little flatty brush here. I'm going to load it up pretty well. You can go both sides, see how I've loaded that up. And then I would tap off the excess. And some people don't like to do that, but I prefer to do that because if I don't do that, then I find that it is like, ends up everywhere. So if I don't tap it out and I were just to apply it, what would happen is it just like, it's called fallout. And so it would just like fall right onto my cheeks. And then if I had my foundation already like on and perfect the way I wanted it, it would actually kind of ruin it. Not with a white color, but if I went in with a dark color. So, but again, it's up to you if you want to do foundation first. I like to do my eyes first because I'm a big old messy person and it's just a lot easier if I can just fix it and then I don't have to fix all this other stuff. Next, we are going to go ahead and go in with a color. So we are going to make this super exciting. So we have these lovely colors here, and we're going to go with a blue theme today because I was thinking, you know, it's competition season and a lot of people are doing the Bluebird Princess Florine variation. So I was like, that would be kind of fun to do. So that's what we're going to do today. And I'm also wearing blue, so I thought it was kind of fitting. Yay! So I'm going to start off with kind of a darkish shade, and you can use whatever palette you want. This is actually just a BH, ooh, Brazil, taking me back to Brazil. This is old. I don't know how, if they even sell this one anymore, but it's a BH Cosmetics, and they actually are quite affordable. The only thing that I have noticed with this is like, there's a lot of fallout. And what I mean by that is, I'll show you here is, when I start to dip my brush in, a lot comes off, so it's gonna start falling down here. Maybe the camera isn't gonna show it, but like it does. So now I've loaded up my brush, but again, guys, we want to tap that out because if I don't, big ol' mess. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually, for my eyes, since they're Asian and I have monolids, I did curl my make-believe eyelashes, but I'm gonna create this crease. So I'm just gonna make basically a triangle. So right here, and then from there, see this lovely color? And then I'm gonna make my little triangle. So I'm actually gonna find where my top of my eyeball is, and if you're doing someone else's makeup, just be careful you're not like gouging their eye out. And also be careful for yourself too, love yourself. So I'm just gonna kind of gently palpate. Yep, right there. And I'm just gonna take that makeup and the eyeshadow, I'm gonna just drag it along where the top of my eyeball is. Now, if you notice, I'm not going all the way over. For me, I go about the middle part of my eye. You can always go further if you want, but this is what has worked for my eyes. I'm using a really small brush too, you guys. It's like very, okay, sorry, you can't see it, but it's small. So I can be very precise with how I want to make my lines or make the cut where my, this is called a cut crease. Crease cut? Cut crease. Doesn't matter. Loading up my brush again. So after I've loaded my brush, tap it out. And then we're gonna do the other side. I'm using a lot of natural light today. I'm in my art room right now. So I don't really know how well this is going to go. So I apologize. One side might look a little bit nicer than the other. Again, I'm just finding where the top of my eyeball is. And I'm being very gentle. You know, preserve your body, guys. You only get one. So again, I made that little triangle. I'm going up top. I'm only going about, sorry, middle. Now, see how that looks a lot lighter than the other side? It's just because of my lighting. So they really are pretty much about the same. But again, you can just darken that up. Now, be careful when you do this, you guys, because if you use a lot of eyeshadow right away, it's really hard to take away. So you can always add more, but subtracting it, yeah. So be careful with that. So again, just go kind of slow. And you know, honestly, if you're watching this and you're like, right? I did the same thing in the beginning too, where I like really wasn't sure what I was doing. And this took a lot of practice, but you know, the thing is, like, it's okay. Like each time it gets a little bit easier, each time you understand it just a little bit more. So if this is your first time trying to do this, be patient with yourself. It is kind of an art form, right? Some people are naturally blessed. But anyway, so here we have our little crease. Yay! Now, what you can also do is, if you don't want such a harsh line, is you're gonna take a little fluffy brush, and I would dip. So you can either dip right back into that same color. I use this like medium, but I'm actually gonna go a little bit lighter because I'm actually gonna try to blend that really harsh line out. So blending, so I'm gonna go right into the corner of that little triangle. And I have a really light, I'm pushing very lightly. So I'm not pushing heavily. And as you can see with the lighter color, I'm kind of just making these little mini kind of circles, and I'm just kind of buffing out that line. See? Yeah. And then we're gonna do other side. Now, I'm probably gonna go in with a little bit smaller brush just to buff it out again. But this is a nice transition because you wanna blend it. Now, you don't have to, again, it is stage makeup, and sometimes it needs to be very drastic. But I'm kind of a perfectionist, and so it's gonna bother me if it's like super harsh. And plus, like, what if you do a performance and you're like, hey, I kind of want to hang out with my homies afterwards, and you know, we're gonna go get some food or whatever, and you're like, I'm really digging this, you know, and so you're like, I'm just gonna wear it, I don't care. So blending it is gonna make it a little bit less harsh, and then you're like, yeah, I could wear this out. So I'm gonna go in with a smaller brush, a little bit smaller, so I can really get into that corner. Now, I know it's kind of hard to see, but I am doing a nice job of blending it. I'm just going along that line and then going just a little bit above it, dragging it inward, and you want to drag it outward also. So again, I'm not going past that little line. I'm not trying to keep it really clean. Sorry, I'm having some throat issues today, so you know what it is. It's from teaching. If any of you guys are teachers and you're like, ah! to your students, yeah, sometimes it takes a toll on your vocal cords. I can't even imagine what it's like to be a singer. That would be so rough on your throat. But of course I know how to handle that. I don't. I'm just yelling. Great. So buffing that out. You don't need to see me do this. I'm just going to continue doing it until I've built up how much I want it to look like, the darkness. So I'm just going to do it off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and so you can see I've done a little bit more. Maybe you can't tell, but I did. I also decided to use a little bit of a darker blue, more of a navy, so I used that little guy. But again, you can do whatever you want. If you guys want to add purple, go for it. You know, it's kind of fun, especially with colors. It's just like, ooh, whatever you want to use is pretty much it. You just do what you feel. So here we go. Pretty well blended. It's pretty. I think it's a nice color. It's blue. It's kind of translating to like turquoise on the camera, but it really is a bluey blue. So la la la. So here we go. Nice and darkened up. Now we're gonna do, it says call it cut crease. And so I've left this part open. Now the reason why I've left this part open, you guys, is if you notice when I open my eyes, it all disappears. It's like, it's gone. Most people's eyes, who aren't Asian, not necessarily, but like a lot of Asians have a monolid, and I have a monolid, and basically it's like you open your eyes and then it's all gone. So what I'm gonna do is, when I do actually have my eyes closed, when I'm blinking also, when I'm doing that, I'm gonna make put a really light color here, so it gives the idea, like the fake idea of a eyelid crease. So again, you can use whatever color you want that is light. You can go with a blue, you can go with a white. What I'm gonna do, you guys, is I have this beautiful palette. This is the Supernova palette, which again is from the BH Cosmetics. They have a really nice line of all these different palettes you can use. Again, there's a lot of fallout that happens, but otherwise the pigmentation is actually not bad. So if you want to go back in again, what I would suggest is, since I've put a lot of eyeshadow there, I'm actually going to go back in with, this time I'm going to use a concealer. This is the concealer that I actually don't really like that much. Again, it's that really dark one where I'm like, I'm not that seasoned, like we're not there. And I'm going to put it on my hand. I like to put it on my hand because sometimes I feel like if I just use the little applicator, the application, it's just like, and then I'm going to stick it back in there. It's like, bacteria. So take my little brush and I'm gonna just dab it in there, and then I'm just gonna again just kind of go where that little triangle is. So I'm gonna go into that little crease right there, and then we're gonna just put a little bit of that concealer. You don't want to be super heavy. You want to have a very light hand. Again, all I'm doing is just creating a base so that my eyeshadow has something to stick to. And that will allow it to actually stay a lot longer versus if you didn't. And again, the fallout would be a significant also. So this works for me. But if you don't want to do this, yeah, you don't have to do whatever you want. You do you. Amazing. Next, I'm going to go in with a really pretty shadow, and I am actually going to go in with, this one's called Libra, or Libra right there. It's very silver. Another one you could probably go in with is if you wanted to go like more white, but see how it still has kind of a blue undertone? That one would work too. Or if you even want to just go like, I would suggest going lighter than something like that, just because you want it to stand out. Now, the way that I do this is I don't care. So I'm not going to use a brush. I'm going to use my ring finger. You can use your pinky finger, whatever. But I feel that this is easier for me to load the product onto my fingertip and then pat it into my eyeball. So when I say pat, again, be gentle because we don't want to hurt people. So I'm going to load up my finger like that, and I'm going to show you, wow, it's really pretty. And we are going to just push that into my eyelid. Now, again, remember, it's harder to take away once you've placed it. So maybe start off a little bit less than what I've done, but I've done this a couple times, so I feel pretty confident that I can do this. Yeah. See, okay, so see how pretty that is. Woo, wow. And we're gonna do the other side. I wear contacts, and sometimes if you guys wear contacts, I think I have a little tear in one of them because I can feel it like. So again, I'm pushing the product into my eyelid. I'm trying to be kind of gentle. Be gentle if you're doing it to someone else, because it doesn't necessarily feel the best. And again, you can place as much as you want, but this is a stage look. So guys, we're gonna go for it. Just get it in there. Wow. Okay. Now that we've done that, a lot of people like to put it into the little space right here. Now, if you're gonna do that, I usually do that, but sometimes I'll wait till I've done all of my, foundation, because in my concealer, because I am going to go up in there, and if I just do it right now, then a lot of it will disappear. So I'm going to actually go and highlight my brow bone. I'm going to just use the same like silver color. It really doesn't matter, but since we have it out, we're just going to use it. And again, I'm just going to I'm going like middle of my eyebrow and bringing it outward. And again, light hand, you can always add more. It's hard to take away. So I'm interested if you guys are gonna like just play around with this, or do you think you're gonna use it for like a competition? I have students who have beautiful blue costumes, and they end up doing a very beautiful eye look with blue shadow because it's like kind of fitting. So there, Now I know this looks crazy, but the thing is from far away, so it looks so it's like a Mona Lisa. Up close, big old mess. Further away, oh, it's actually pretty, it's kind of nice. I like that. It's okay. It's okay. So here that we have that. And then actually what you can do is I'm going to do it a little bit. I'm going to pull this in and make it a little bit thinner. I'm going to define it, and we're going to be a little bit thinner as we bring it in. I'm going to bring it in maybe just a touch. But see, when I open my eyes, it's like gone. But it's going to be pretty when I close my eyes. Yeah. Next, I'm going to do eyeliner. Now, the thing is, guys, I don't do eyeliner because number one, I'm terrible at it. Number two, I'm terrible at it. So I'm just not going to do it because I'll end up messing all this up. And then I don't think you guys, I don't want to do this again. So we are not going to do that. Here we go. I know I said eyeliner, but I lied. We're going to do my eyebrows because the eyeliner gives me anxiety. So we're going to just leave that for a little bit later. So I'm going to use this little spoolie, and I'm just going to brush out my eyebrows. I don't have a lot of eyebrows because I'm old, and there was a time in history where thin brows was really in, and so I plucked the crap out of my eyebrows and then just kind of never grew back. So we have to fill in a lot. Now I know you're probably thinking that is a really light color, and it's true, but the thing is I'm going to put eyeshadow over it. So this is again just creating a base, and after I've created the base, then I'm going to put the darker shade on. If I was doing this makeup for going out or something like that, and it wasn't stage makeup, so I didn't have to have a really heavy hand, I would actually not be putting the eyeshadow all the way inward here. So I'd like to have a more gradient effect. But since this is stage makeup, we're gonna go all in, and we are going to darken up the whole brow. But again, if you were gonna try to do this and we're going out, or it was like Halloween or something like that, or just going out, I would go lighter and then gradually become darker. See how the light is making my other eyebrow look really light? It's not true. I'm using the same amount of, this is an eyebrow pencil. No, actually, I'm sorry. This is the eye pencil. So it doesn't matter. I'm just using it how I want to use it. Doesn't matter. Okay, so now that I've created a base, we're going to go back in with this palette right here. This is just a Revlon palette. So this is a drugstore brand. It's pretty cheap. Actually, there are cheaper ones like e.l.f. and NYX. Those work just as well, but again, the formulas are a little bit different, so like you're probably gonna get more fallout with the cheaper brands. Not always necessarily, don't come for me. I'm gonna use a little angled brush like that. It's pretty thin, and I'm just gonna use that because it allows me to go along the shape of my brow. So I'm gonna load up one side. You can do both, doesn't matter, whatever. But as you can see, I'm gonna take it and I'm just gonna go along with my brow. And I'm going pretty light because, again, you can always add more, but once you put it on, it's like, that's where it lives. So I'm being kind of a little bit too safe. Again, this is a competition, ballet competition, whatever, dance competition, stage makeup. So again, we're going to darken that in, but that is kind of up to you. I would highly suggest it, you guys. And if you have like lighter hair, maybe like blonde, I would definitely do brown. Maybe not as dark brown as I'm doing right now, but definitely dark brown. So I'm just gonna go along. And again, like I said, if you were doing this and just like maybe going out with friends or something like that, I wouldn't be doing right here so much, but I'm going to do that because again, we are going for dramatic. Very dramatic. And I'm just going along with the hair, my hair. So I'm going upward and then I'm going following that line down. My suggestion to you is like, if you're like, oh my gosh, like you look at yourself and this is crazy makeup, I would suggest having someone look at you from far away. Go at least 6 feet away, probably more like 12, and be like, how does it equate to anything? Can you see it? Does it make any sense? Because if there's like, I can't tell that you have makeup on, you have to go heavier with your hand. You got to go way darker. So, as you can see, I've definitely darkened that up. You can pull this out, the little tail of your eyebrow if you want to. You don't have to. But don't pull it too far. Usually you want to do like, go with the shape of your eye, and then that would be where the tip of the eyebrow would go. but you don't have to. But I would definitely suggest not going, unless that's the character you're going for. I don't know, maybe it is. So after that, now we actually have come to the eyeliner part. Again, I don't use eyeliner because I suck at that. So we are going to use this teeny tiny angled brush, teeny tiny for more precision. And I'm going to go in first. First, I'm going to go in with like a brown because I don't trust myself and we need to kind of plot out where we're going to go. So I'm going to load up both sides, tap it out, and I'm going to kind of just stamp it onto where I feel like it's going to go. Now, the way that I've created this little V is pretty much the way I'm going to create my wing, but we'll just do it anyways. And I'm just going to push gently. Now, I don't know if it's showing on camera, but it really is. It's very, very light, but it's giving me an idea of like, hey, is that a good line to use? And it is. You know, if it's not, I would go back in with the blue eyeshadow and just add a little bit more to kind of like diffuse the blue, the brown. But it's so light that no one's gonna see it. It's only a guideline again, but I'm gonna stamp out the other side. That's pretty nice. And then I'm going to make a triangle, but it's gonna be an open triangle. So I'm gonna take where the tip of that line is, which is right out here. And then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna bring it inward, but I'm only gonna go back to the middle of my eye. So again, I have Asian eyes. I'm trying to make these suckers look bigger than they are on stage. So I do not go all the way into the corner. So I've made that line. I don't know if you can see it, but I guarantee you it's right there. It's very light, but that's okay. It's just a guideline. And again, I'm only going to about the middle point of my eye. Now we're gonna go in with the black. I'm using the same eyeliner because, eyeshadow brush because I want it to be very crisp and very clean. So again, I'm just kind of stamping it on there. Just have a light hand. Again, you can always go darker. Can you see this? I feel like that's too light. Let's get a different one. Okay, I found a better black. So kind of what I was saying before, like sometimes when the eyeshadow palette or whatever the makeup that you're using is not always 100% super pigmented. Pigment meaning the condensed color of what you're using. You have to use a little bit more. There's nothing wrong with that, but it just means you have to continuously go back and forth, which is fine, whatever. So now I've made that line. You see it much darker. So now I'm going to take the corner, which is up there, and I'm going to bring it in towards the middle part of my eye. I always go a little bit lower or make the triangle a little bit smaller because again, you can add more, but you can't take away. And like all this work that we've done, do we want to start over? No, I don't. So I've made a little bit of a line there and I'm like, that looks pretty good. So we're just gonna go with it. And I am gonna use a different brush. I use a lot of angled brushes because they work really well for my eye. Now, if it doesn't work for your eye, don't do it. Doesn't matter. So I'm using again an angled brush. Sorry, you can't see it. Angled. And I really loaded that up with that black because again, I'm gonna try to fill in that triangle. Tap off the excess, and then I'm not dragging it so much at the moment. I'm just trying to fill in that spot that we left open when I made that triangle. So I'm just gonna fill that in, and then once I've got it in pretty well, then I'll start dragging it inward. But again, I really wanna make sure that is that the shape that I'm really happy with, and that's pretty good. Again, if you get to this point and you're like, just mess that up, and it looks like I'm making it super easy. I tried this a lot. I've done this many, many times over a course of many, many years. But trust me, when I first tried this, yeah, it was awful. I was getting really frustrated because I'd get to this part and just be like, okay, that sucks. So if you want to practice this part, I would highly suggest doing it with clean eyes and not have all the other shadow on, just so you can practice, hey, this is the line that I want to follow. This is the shape of the little cat eye that I want to use. And then practice with the full eye look. Because doing all that first part with the blue shadow or whatever you're using, and then getting to the eyeliner part, and then messing it up, it's frustrating. Now, again, I don't use eyeliner because I'm really bad at it, but use eyeliner if you're really good at it. I'm just not. So we're just darkening that in. Now, as you can see, it's not a super long wing, and I'm probably gonna go a little bit longer because, again, this is competition or ballet or whatever. It's a performance makeup. So again, if we go very light, it's not gonna translate once we get onto that stage, because if you know anything about dance, those lights be bright and they are blinding and they wash you out. So we are gonna go a little bit heavier and we're gonna go out a little bit further with that wing. So I guess I had to focus a little bit. Focus. There. Wow. And so now from, again, monolids from far away, it's, oh, your makeup's gone. That's great. That's great. Okay, good. This is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Yay, okay. So my eyebrows, okay. Next, my least favorite part. Foundation. Now you don't have to use foundation, but I would suggest you use it. For my other video, I used, I believe, Revlon. I don't know where the foundation went. I might have thrown it away. Now I'm using Wet n Wild. So again, it's a cheaper brand. It doesn't necessarily mean it's bad or worse or anything like that. It's just cheaper. So this is, do I want to use this? I don't know how old it is. So I decided against it, you guys, because I smelt it and it was like maybe I shouldn't be putting that on my face. Now, you guys, if you have old makeup, clearly I do, instead of throwing it away, because honestly, they're rose, I probably only use it a couple times. I will use it to pancake my shoes. So you can always use it for that if you're like, kind of questionable if I want to put this on my face. So anyways, I'm going to use a primer. This is Maybelline. That works really nicely. I'm going to use Maybelline again. It's a Maybelline Fit Me. This is in the color 125. It is nude beige, and that's what works for me. So the primer, you saw me putting it on at the little part right there, but I'm going to put a little bit on my hand, maybe about a pea size. Again, you can always add more. And this again is just creating a base for your makeup to stick to. So not that to say that a foundation is going to slide off your face, but And then how did I do this? Should we do this? Is this a bad idea? Oh. Again, I don't know. And then I'm just gonna dab it in. Now, I did this last, you guys. Also, I told you because of my eye makeup, eyeshadow, but also it's like I hate makeup on my face, like large quantities. Eyeshadows, still, I'm not a big fan of it, but foundation, I actually, if I can get away with it, I won't even wear it on stage. No one has said anything, but it does create a really pretty finish. So if you are going out, you probably want to use it. So I'm going to use this circular brush. It's very floofy, and I'm going to just blend and buff that into my beautiful skin. Now, this is on camera, and the lighting makes it look like I already have pretty nice skin to begin with, and it's a lie. It's a 100% lie. I do not have nice skin. I am old. You can see him now. See? So no filter, guys. This is a real deal. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, well, that's too bad. Oh, see, I actually do have some fallout underneath my eye. So that's the reason why we don't do our foundation first. But the lights are making it look like I have nice skin. Like I said, I don't. I had so much acne. I still have acne. And I scar really easily. So don't be like, wow, her skin is just so nice. Why does she need foundation? Like, I do. But I just don't wear it because of my skin. I hate it. It's like, have you ever been claustrophobic in your clothes? Like wintertime and you have 10,000 layers on and you can't get them off fast enough? That's how I am with makeup. I'm just like, get this off me. So honestly, the second that this video is done, you better believe that I'm running to the bathroom and I'm taking all this stuff off. Okay, so that's created this wonderful little face. We're gonna continue on. Now, if you wanna do powder, I showed you my powder in the last video and it is destroyed. So I'm not gonna use powder, but just pretend. And then we're gonna do blush. Yeah, we have the blush. If you guys follow me on TikTok, if you do, I talk about makeup colors that you use, and one of them is Psychotic Clown. Now this one isn't Psychotic Clown, but it's basically the same thing. We got to use these crazy bright colors so that we stand out on stage. So basically the Psychotic Clown one, you guys, was very, very close to like this color or something very similar. It was just like, but I think I threw it away. It was just like, it had its moment and I was like, oh, you're done. So I'm using an angled fluffy brush, but look at this, you guys. Wait, watch. Boom. You do not want that on your face, because if I did that and I just went like this, it would be like. So anyways, I'm gonna just go to the apples, the apples on my cheek, and I'm gonna blend it upward. Some people just go whoa, 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 whoa. Again, I like to try to make it a little bit less harsh. So I'm actually gonna bring it up here and then onto the apples of my cheeks. And I'm also making these circular motions. Again, go a little light. I mean, you're gonna darken it and you're gonna use a decent amount because again, stage, look how nice that is. That's beautiful. If you don't like it, then if you're like, wow, that's really rough and harsh, take a fluffy brush. This one's really big, so I sometimes pinch it together like this to create like more of a fan shape. And then you can just kind of blend that and soften those lines so it's not so harsh. But again, you can do what you want. Do whatever makes you happy. Don't do it. I don't care. You do you. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of contouring. I had a contour kit or palette last video, but I lost it. So we're gonna go in very lightly. Again, see, this is universal, you guys. This is that Revlon again. Like, you can use it for your eyebrows. I used that for my eyebrows to darken them. I use that as a base for my eyeshadow. I'm gonna use this color very lightly. We're just gonna touch, and we're gonna use that as a contour shape. Contour line, oh my gosh, guys. So again, I'm gonna go kind of soft. That doesn't look soft, but it is. I mean, I have very little product on my brush. See, there we go. Okay, so now we're like, ooh, we're gonna be chiseled. No, we don't want to be chiseled. In real life, you guys, I am pretty chiseled, as you can see. But if you don't know where that line is, and then under. So I go a little bit higher because I'm gonna bring it down. And I'm gonna buff that out here in just a second. Bring it all the way into your hairline. Some people like to do it up here. Again, you wanna kind of blend it in with your hairline, because if you do it like not where your hairline, then you don't blend it out. Now, also, since the lights are blinding, I'm gonna go underneath my mandible, if we're gonna be technical, but you know, your chin and the side of your face, your jawline. And I'm gonna go under. I'm not gonna go over, I'm gonna go under because I'm gonna create that line. So it's gonna be like, oh wow, look at that beautiful jawline she has. Well, her jawline is snatched. Do you guys even use that word anymore? I don't know. But see how it's, wow, so nice. But you don't wanna go here. We're not trying to like create a 5 o'clock shadow, unless that's what you're going for. And then in that case, do it. So I'm gonna, again, pinch my brush so it's more fan shaped. And I'm just gonna kind of blend that downward and backwards. Downward, backwards. Downward, backwards. Again, this side looks a lot lighter. It's the lighting, guys. It looks very similar like that when I use this mirror, or that's not a mirror. Anyways, doesn't matter. Here we go. So I curl my eyelashes, because if I don't, again, my monolid just takes over. As you can see, I have teeny tiny little mini micro eyelashes. But in order to kind of pretend and create a more open-eyed look, I have to curl them. Be careful doing this, and be very careful doing it to somebody else, because you can pinch your eyelid and it does not feel nice. Now, I'm not putting eyelashes on, you guys, because I am very allergic to the glue, and anything I've tried, even if it's not glue, it's like whatever it is, another different adhesive, my skin is just allergic to it. And I actually acquired that allergy over years and years and years of using eyelashes on stage. So just be careful, you guys, because you can sometimes acquire an allergy over time. So, but if I use it, you guys, it's like, it swells, it blisters. It looks like I got socked in the eye, like boom, 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 and then and then the blisters like burst, and then it's like weeping and oozing, and it's just horrible. So we're just not gonna go there because I don't feel like, you know, putting my eyeballs through that. So just pretend, wow, amazing. If you do eyelashes and you have Asian eyes, for me, when I use them, my eyes are not super long. So I noticed that sometimes part of it would hang off. So what I started doing was cutting the eyelashes. Now, I wouldn't cut towards the inner part of the eyelashes where the lashes are really small. I cut the outer point, because if you cut the inner point and then you bring it in, unless you're going for a really dramatic, it's just like too much. So I always cut the outer part. And then again, you want to just go right along the lash line there. Put the glue on, let it get a little tacky. You can, you know, fan it like this, or lightly, couple 10 seconds maybe, just kind of feel it. If it's tacky, then you can apply. I would always apply and then just like fan it a little bit, push, fan it, and then just see how it looks. Do the other side. And then some people like to then take the eyelash curler and squish them together, put mascara, squish them together. I never did that because I'm not trying to pull out any of the eyelashes that I actually do have, but if you are blessed, do it. So the last thing that we have is lipstick. Okay, so we have a couple different lipsticks. This is the one that I use for my TikTok videos. If you don't know, it's I am Director Can't, so it's Kim Can't Dance. It's Kim.Dance, Can't Dance, but Director Can't uses this color. This is a really good color. So it's very red. This is usually the one that I use for stage. It's not as red. It's more of a burgundy. It has more blue undertones. And I find that this works nicer for me, better for me. English. So what I do is I have, I didn't show you guys, but I put on chapstick at the beginning of this whole ordeal, just so I could have my lips moisturized. But if you notice it's too moisturized, just kind of take some of it off onto your hand or like a tissue, so you have at least something that lipstick can bind to. Because if you have too much, you know, chapstick on, it's just gonna kind of slide over. So what I do is I usually start with my cupid bow area. So I'm gonna make a little X. So I start on one side, I go inward, I go to the other side, like right where the top is, and I go across. Across, cute. And now I'm like, oh, that's amazing. So then we just follow the line of the lip. And does anyone is it really hard not to make a weird face when you do this? Or like eyeshadow, or I'm like, okay. Pretty good. It's a little lopsided, but so am I. So it's okay. My bottom lip is super weird. It's kind of messed up because a long time ago, I had low blood pressure and I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and I passed out, and then my top teeth went into the bottom part of my lip. So it's always been a little bit interesting. So I have to just kind of pretend that part is normal, and we just kind of create the bottom lip so it looks symmetrical. It's okay. Now, if you don't want to get on your teeth, I would suggest, ta-da! Or you can use a tissue if you don't want to be like, get it like me. Like I have makeup on my hands. So this is actually the finished look, you guys. Yay! So again, you can use this look for ballet, or you can use it when going out. I'm just going to show you. So if I wanted to transition from ballet performance to going out, we can do that. We look like this. Lovely. Thanks for joining me. If you guys want to see a different color, let me know. I have tons of colors. Did you guys see this palette? Look at those colors. Let me know. It's fun. Okay. Bye.